Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan. I am what I like to call an apartment broker. I own an apartment locating company and I also run a training program school for apartment locators and leasing agents in the apartment industry. So today I wanted to have a tough conversation. I wanted to share what it's like to have a tough conversation with one of your clients. This was a requested video by somebody in our comments. We appreciate all of these suggestions that you guys are letting us know that you want to know or what you guys need guidance on in your businesses. So somebody in our comments requested if we could make a video about how to have the conversation with a client who is not realistic with what their budget is and with what they're looking for in an apartment. And so I'm going to talk about exactly what I do to handle this. I'm going to talk about verbatim what I typically say to people and how I handle this. But I wanted to firstly talk about why it's important as a agent to have effective communication and to have these tough conversations. If you are not able to have these tough conversations, not only does it hurt you as an agent, but it wastes your client's time. I will say that if you are an agent and you're not having tough conversations, you're not educating your client about realistic expectations, you are doing your client a disservice because you don't want to have that awkward conversation. And ultimately, the conversation does not have to be awkward. They are actually coming to you as a real estate agent, an apartment locator, a realtor. They're coming to you because you're supposed to be an expert. You're supposed to be able to educate them about what it is that they are looking for in a new home or what it is to expect in the industry. So if you are not having difficult conversations with your clients about, for instance, their price range and their expectation to get in that price range, you're not really doing your job. I know it can kind of feel uncomfortable in the beginning. If you're not somebody who's used to having these types of conversations, maybe it seems a little bit personal to that client, or maybe it seems like you're insulting that client by telling them, hey, your budget's not going to fit what you're looking for. But it isn't actually, if you can switch your mind frame, it isn't actually about insulting your client or about crossing a boundary, about it being too personal to talk about money, because ultimately you are a professional, you are an expert, and you're here to educate your client. So if you're having a client that's coming to you and saying, hey, I want a penthouse, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath penthouse in the heart of the city, and I want to pay $1,500. If you're not having that conversation with them about their expectation and their budget, you are doing them a disservice and you're wasting their time, because number one, you're going to keep sending them apartment options and it's not going to be what they're looking for. But number two, if you haven't educated them that what they're looking for doesn't exist, they're going to think that you are not good at your job because you're not finding what they want. So this is totally a disservice by not having this difficult conversation with your client about price range and expectation. And so I'm going to talk to you about how, now that we've gotten out why it's important to have these conversations, I'm going to talk to you about how I typically handle this. So if I get a client that comes to me and their price range is on the lower end, but they have a higher end expectation, what I normally start off with is I explain to them, I first come from a place of compassion, and I first say man, 4 years ago, apartments were $800 cheaper than what they are now. It's crazy. Everything is we've had so much inflation in our country, in our world. Man, wouldn't that be great if we could get an apartment for $1,200 still in downtown Dallas? I first come from a place of compassion. Man, kind of in a way saying we're all struggling out here. Inflation is crazy. So first coming from a place of compassion and say, yes, wouldn't that be great? It's just all of the rental prices have increased so much over the last couple of years. I first come with compassion. Then I come with education. Then I start to explain to them what you're looking for typically runs you in the range of, if you're looking for a apartment in downtown Dallas and you're looking for a 2-bedroom, that typically ranges anywhere from $2,500 to maybe $4,500 in a luxury high-rise building in downtown Dallas for a 2-bedroom. So first compassion, then education. Then the third thing that I come with is a option. Now, let me know this is me speaking to my client. Let me know what is most important to you. Is it most important to you to be in the location that you want, or possibly be in a luxury building that you're envisioning? Or is it more important for you to stay in your budget? And I asked the question, is your budget or is your expectations or is your location, are any of these three things flexible? And a lot of times they will say, you know what, I am flexible on my location. I don't have to live in downtown Dallas. I'm actually okay living about 20 minutes out of the city if I get more square footage at a great price. Or sometimes they'll say, you know what, maybe I don't need a 2-bedroom, but I do really want to live in downtown. I'm okay with a studio or a 1-bedroom. Or maybe they'll say, you know, I would really love to stay around $1,200, but if I need to pay $2,500 to get what I'm looking for, I'm okay with that. So as far as the steps when it comes to having these difficult conversations, first I come with compassion, then I come with education, and then I come with options about how to overcome this little hurdle, this objection. So I really wanted to speak to this. This is something that I personally learned probably working on site as a leasing agent. I learned this early on in my career about overcoming objections when it comes to a client. I think when you are working on site as a leasing agent, it's more challenging because you have to learn how to overcome objections with the inventory that you have at that property. Obviously, if somebody comes in and says, oh, my budget is $1,200 and all you have is $2,000 apartments, as a leasing agent, when you work on site, you can't really make things shift at your property if you don't have anything in that price range. But as an apartment locator, it's great because you do have options. You can shift things and make your client understand that there's lots of different options if they choose a different area, if they choose a different style of building, or if they choose a different size of building. As an apartment locator, overcoming objections is actually really easy. It's all just about educating your client and just giving them options. Now, definitely don't come to your client with the idea of being insulting. Don't give them this energy or vibe that you are judging them from their price range. That's why it's really important to come with compassion first, and even a personal story. I a lot of times will be like, oh yeah, the apartment that I live at was actually $600 more expensive 6 months ago, and the prices just change all the time. I like to come from a place of being personal too, so that they know that it's not by me educating them or giving them options or basically telling them, no, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get for that price. By me coming from a place of personal experience, it actually gives them it lets them know that I'm a real human too, and I'm not judging them. So please let me know in the comments below, have you ever had this happen to you before? Do you have these difficult conversations? I want to know in the comments below. And please subscribe to this channel. We're going to be posting a lot more educational videos on this channel. Leave a comment if you want any specific topics. And if you're not in our free Facebook group, we have a huge Facebook group with almost 4,000 apartment locators and leasing agents. Great place to connect, great place to learn. The description is in my microphone cut off. The description's in our bio, and also we have also our paid training program as well, which is at school.com/SOL, SOL. All of this stuff is linked in our description. Please let us know if you liked this video, and check out our about section of our YouTube channel, and check out our free Facebook page. We'll see y'all in the next video.